Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well on this lovely Thursday. Compared to yesterday, it is a nice day out. And so I thought I would come to you from my little garden. I will not show it to you because let's be honest, it's kind of a hot mess, which is pretty normal for me. But what I did want to talk about today is looking as lovely as ever. I don't know about you, but lately I have been taking extra notice of the trees, all the trees in the area. I was driving yesterday and saw them along the roadside, those starting to turn different shades. See, I think I have one over there that's maybe got some yellow leaves coming on. They've just been lovely. And so I've been thinking about trees lately. I've always loved trees. Maybe it's because I'm from the South in the States where trees are almost literally a lifesaver in the hot summer days. Well, the hot days pretty much year round. But I remember having loved trees from childhood, really. I remember we used to have several large trees in our backyard growing up, and we had a hammock underneath them. And I can remember spending hours back there reading or doing homework even in this hammock. And I would just stop and look up at the beautiful blue sky through the green leaves. And it's just my idea of a peaceful afternoon, I think. I don't know what it is about trees. Perhaps it is that peaceful feeling they give as they're blowing in the breeze. Or maybe it's that strong stability they have, how they change even to suit the seasons. That's what I love about the ones here. In the spring, these are covered in blossoms, and in the summer, they get this beautiful lush look. And then in the autumn, we've got the changing colors, and several of them. I think the one right behind me has got lots of little berries. They've got fruit all over them. It's just lovely to see them changing to suit. And the birds come and enjoy them at all, at all seasons. Trees hold steady through it all. And we have a lot we can learn from trees, perhaps. So perhaps unsurprisingly, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, psalm in the Bible is, well, it's not about trees, but it certainly has a tree image in it. I'm just going to find it, and then I will read it to you. It is, of course, the first psalm. It's fairly short, so I'll just read the whole thing to you. Psalm 1. Happy are those who do not follow the advice of the wicked, or take the path that sinners tread, or sit in the seat of scoffers. But their delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law they meditate day and night. They are like trees planted by streams of water, which yield their fruit in its season, and their leaves do not wither. In all that they do, they prosper. The wicked are not so, but are like chaff that the wind drives away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. I think there's a lot to be said about that psalm, perhaps, these days. It tells us, when it speaks of the tree, that the good, the righteous, are like trees firmly planted by streams of water. It even tells us how they manage to maintain their steadiness. Those streams of water, those roots taking in that water, keep it going strong. During the dry seasons, during the stormy weather, through the rain, through the floods, those strong, firm roots keep the tree standing because it's got a foundation that's been nurtured by that ever-present stream of water. Well, despite the lovely weather today, things are perhaps starting to feel a bit more like the winds are picking up in this area. We don't really know how things are going to go in the near future, but it can be easy then to think that we might get blown around by the big gusts that could be heading our way, even the storms. Maybe we'll just have to see. But perhaps today we can take that reminder to be like those trees, realizing that our roots can be planted in the source of our own living water, who keeps us standing, who keeps us going, even thriving and growing through all of the times and seasons that we go through. If you've been reading along with the little the conference devotional book that some of the others use, The psalm that we've just ended is Psalm 119, and I'm definitely not going to read that one to you, but you can read it on your own time, maybe over a couple of days. And I've always thought of it, it's basically, it's a little bit like a love letter to God's law, to God's word. And it talks about how wonderful it is that God's instructions are given to us to sustain us through everything. Not just God's instructions, but the love and the promise that underlies those instructions. So today, I would invite you to think of those instructions, think of God's word as your own source of living water, of Jesus' promise to us, that actual living water given to us that keeps us planted firmly in God's word and in God's promise. And so as you go out, maybe as you take a walk in the lovely days, or just look into your own garden, perhaps find a tree, notice it, think of all the happy memories maybe you have sitting underneath them, and take time to recenter and to think of your own roots. Perhaps pray that you'll always be given that living water that flows through all things and keeps us so steady, even in the midst of the storms. So that is my prayer for you today as we go out and enjoy the beautiful sunshine and the start of this autumn season. So I will see you later. Take care.